we woke up suddenly to hear that subsidy is gone.
Hello, good day viewers. I am Okocha P. Marcel and this is my channel. In this life, we must never learn how to remain neutral and silent, because your silence will help the oppressor to keep on oppressing the masses. But when you speak up, they see it as an attack. They see it as a caution. They see it as a warning to every bad system they are trying to create. And that is why in this channel, we talk about trending and political issues and we share news contents. So follow us, share our videos, subscribe to our channel, and always come by to watch our daily updates.
We announced subsidy, and the meaning of subsidy removal, according to them, is increase in price. We woke up suddenly to hear that subsidy is gone by Mr. President on the day of his inauguration, without a cabinet, without going to the National Assembly. And we were told that there was provision up to the end of June. And we wouldn't know whether there was vehement or adjustment. And why they invited us for a meeting by 2 p.m., they had the NNPC PLC, as a private company, went ahead to fix prices. And we are still wondering whether it is the function of companies who are limited liability companies to fix prices of petroleum products in Nigeria. And the level of increase brings much, leaves more to be desired, in the sense that the issue of subsidy has not been probed all these years. And for anybody to close that chapter is like covering fraud. The Nigerian Labour Congress has called the NEC members for us to interrogate some of these processes, to know who and who we are collecting the subsidy money. Very important. And how much they have collected, at least in the last 8 years. Because it is not enough to say subsidy or no subsidy. Because if the report we are getting on landing cost is correct, if landing cost is $30 per barrel, and a barrel gives you over 150 something liters, you see that we are talking of about 18 cents plus. And that will be about 19 naira. And if it is 19 naira and they are selling at 185, they're already making more than 100% profit. And for anybody to announce, or for NNPC to illegally announce 500, 400, all that, we are here to interrogate the process and for NEC to give directive. Already, at the meeting they held with us, we have asked for the withdrawal of that figure for meeting to continue. And NLC NEC will give further direction on what to do if they fail to withdraw the figures that is all over. 50% of the states are not paying minimum wage of 30,000. Some are still paying 18,000. And it takes an average of 40,000 naira now for you to fill your tank that will last for 1 week. A small I pass my neighbor generator will not take less than 10 liters. And 10 liters cannot last a night. And it's addition of about 3,000. And in the meeting, they were not only provocative, we saw the contempt at which they held Nigerians by saying they will give people 5,000 as palliative, and that they are going to give 5,000 for 50 million Nigerians, whom they call the poorest of the poor. But the Bureau of Statistics said that about there are 133 million Nigerians that are multidimensionally poor. And that's what they told us. And maybe they will give it for 6 months or thereabout. There is no other condition, no provision. We looked at alternatives, which we'll discuss in 2021. Nobody wants to mention about the repair of refineries. All questions bordering around that were not responded to. Nobody responded to the issue of CNG, which we agreed that the vehicles could be converted within 3 months. No response. So it's like there's no alternative on ground. And one of them said it's a fiat accompli. So with this, that's why we have called you here, to brief you and to seek further directive on how to go about this. But let me say this. The propaganda will be on. The blackmail will be on. This matter has been on subsidy for the past 20 years. This is not a new policy of the NLC. This is not designed by this NLC. Subsequent NLC, previous NLC stands on this. That whereas the federal government has been subsidizing the rich in this country, and for some time now, between 2016 to 2023, almost over 26 trillion has been spent on import waiver alone to the rich. That whereas over $6 billion have been spent on turnaround maintenance, there is nothing to show for it. That whereas the federal government released about $2.7 billion for the repair of 2 or 3 major refineries in the country, and spent the same amount of investment in the Dangote refinery, there's nothing on ground. That whereas the labor unions have provided alternative, including the recommendation of CNG, which is eco-friendly and cheaper, and that by 2021, the engagement between the labor unions, NLC, TUC, and the federal government, the then minister, made us to understand that the CNG cost will be about 90 naira per liter. And that whereas the NNPC have refused to tell us the landing cost of a barrel of petroleum up to this moment, that whereas the NNPC has refused to disclose the beneficiaries of the subsidy, the Nigerian Labour Congress is hereby calling for proper investigation in the process of subsidy, to know those who are the beneficiaries, to know the amount that is involved, and to investigate it properly before it is swept under the carpet. That the current attempt to sweep the issue of the fraudulent practices in the subsidy regime should not be tolerated by all well-meaning Nigerians. That the NEC session directed that the leadership of NLC should be cautious of negotiating with people without portfolio. That it is instructive that until the government is properly constituted and the people who will negotiate with labor are such people with mandate and capacity to commit the government of the day, such negotiations may not be valid wherever. Consequently, the NLC decided that if by Wednesday next week that the NNPC, a private limited liability company that illegally announced a price regime in the oil sector, refuses to revert itself for negotiation to continue, that the Nigerian Labour Congress and all its affiliates will withdraw their services and commence protests nationwide until this is complied with, and that NNPC doesn't have the monopoly to act illegally, even as a private company. The NLC NEC therefore directed all state councils and all industrial unions to commence mobilization from this moment to make sure that this action is enforced. Thank you, comrades, for being with us. God bless you all.
There is victory for us. Victory.
There is victory for us.
In the struggle.
In the struggle for Nigeria. There is victory for us.
Forward.
Forward. Ever. Backward. Never. In the struggle for.
We are victims of bad political leadership. We are the victims of bad system of government. And for this reason, you must not remain silent. I must speak up and you must speak up. When you remain neutral to every bad political system, it helps the oppressor, not the victims who are the masses like me and you. And for that reason, we share news content, we talk realities out of trending and political issues on this channel. My name is Okochapi Marcel, and this is my channel. Please kindly help me to share my videos, subscribe to this channel, and always come by for new videos.